Okay, Professor Jim Schultz here from my Finance 680 class. I wanted to go ahead and add a video here to the collection of videos that you guys have as you're preparing for the second celebration here coming up in just a few days. And so let's go ahead and get rolling. So I was kind of combing through all the different problems, and there are quite a few problems that I could go through. But I looked at what you guys already had in terms of a YouTube video inventory, and right now you already have several problems for stock valuation, so I thought I would go ahead and add one from the bond valuation stuff. And I was looking at the previous exams here, and let's see which exam. So this is fall 2013. So this is obviously a very good exam to practice, and I really feel like this one problem in particular is a great example of the types of problems you guys should expect. Because remember, as I've talked about in class, Finance 680 has gotten more rigorous over the last few semesters, so this exam might be a little bit too easy relative to what you guys are going to face. But hey, that makes it more fun, that makes it more enjoyable, and so it'll be a good time. So let's go ahead and go through this this Grand Adventure Properties problem. This is a really good problem to practice. It's kind of a good example of how I could take what is usually a very standard bond problem and kind of juice it up a little bit and turn things around a little bit, just to make sure, just to give me a way to test to see if you really understand how to put all the pieces together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. So Grand Adventure Properties offers a 9.5% coupon bond. The current market interest rate is 11.2%, and this bond will mature 38 months from today. What was the price of this bond last year? So 1 year ago. So, as is the case with any of these complicated bond problems, complicated stock problems, complicated time value of money problems, you're always best served beginning the problem with a timeline, because it's just going to give you a very clear, systematic process and approach for the best, most optimal way to solve the problem. So this is the timeline that relates to this information. So this is now. Those are my coupon payments of $47.50 based on a 9.5% coupon, right? And then I get my $1,000 at the end, obviously. I need to know what was the price right here at time equal -2. Now, you might notice that I have my timeline laid out in semi-annual periods. And the reason why is because, as we've talked about in class, you always assume that the coupon payments of the bond are semi-annually paid, even if the problem does not say. So if the problem doesn't say, if the problem leaves it sort of up in the air or ambiguous, then you always assume semi-annual payments. If the problem says annual payments, then obviously you use annual payments. But this problem intentionally leaves that information out to make sure that you remember how to do that. So that's why we see semi-annual tick marks. Now, in my opinion, this is, setting up the timeline is the first difficult part of this problem. The second difficult part is figuring out how to reconcile the time horizon given in the problem. So I give you the information in months as opposed to giving it to you in the standard way of just years. So we have 38 months from now until the end of the bond. So what that means is you need to figure out, okay, how many semi-annual periods are in 38 months? Well, it comes out to be 6 1/3, so 6.333. Which, if you break that 38 months down, it will make sense to you, right? So 36 months is obviously 6 semi-annual periods, right? Because there's 6 months in each semi-annual period, and 6 times 6 is 36. So then that accounts for 36 of the 38 months. But then you have 2 months left that are still not accounted for. So that means you have 2 months out of you have 2 months in the last semi-annual period still left needing to be accounted for. So that means you have 2 months out of a possible 6 months, which is 1/3, right, or 0.333. So that is why you see me write down 6.33 semi-annual periods. Okay, so then what I do is I just say, okay, well, if there's 6.33 semi-annual periods left now, 1 year ago, the bond must have had 8.33 semi-annual periods left, because I would be 2 semi-annual periods back into history, right? We're looking for the price 1 year ago, so that's 2 semi-annual periods ago. So that's 6.33 plus 2, which is 8.333. So once you have that, now it's just plug and chug, right? Now it's just solving a basic bond problem that you've done a million times. You have all the information here laid out for you very clearly. You solve for the present value, and it's 944.61. And so that is how to solve this Grand Adventures properties problem, which I think is an outstanding problem for you guys to practice heading into the upcoming celebration. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys.